Okay, so now that you have learned how to export data into CSV and any other file that you might be required, now we want to look at something interesting about this data that we have. So you realize that in this data we have got a section that is marked independence, and ideally these are dates when each of these African countries got their independence. But in our data frame, this data is not, or in our from our source file, which is the raw data from the Excel. By that I mean this data here. It is not a date. So, and we can confirm that. So first of all, let's before we do that, let me just make sure that I'm annotating my Jupyter notebook correctly. So say dealing or handling data time data. So and by the way, before you proceed, make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. It's not good for business. Okay, so now you realize that each of this data is somehow supposed to be date, but in our raw data it's not a date, and we can confirm that. First, let us import that data frame or that raw data df by creating a variable called df, and then just do pd. This should be no brainer now, csv, and then africa.csv, and of course for now let's just use this. It's gonna have df. So look at our data and let's confirm if each of these values is a date or is just a random, it's just a string. So df dot I can say lock I no independence, that is the independence. Why am I struggling with this? I think I should just copy it to make it easier, because I can copy it. Okay, so now we access this column. So first of all, our data frame is df. So let me just explain what I'm doing in this code here. So our data frame is df, which we labeled here using variable name called df. If you use data, then make sure that you are consistent, but I prefer using df, and so should you. Okay, good. So now I'm using the data frame df, and I want to access the independence column, which is this. But of that independence column, I want to access the first data point, which is indexed 0 here. So that is Kenya. So basically what I'm accessing is this, because it's the data frame column independence index 0, and here if I wanted to access this, it will be df.colonizer column then in bracket 0. So once I do that, I can confirm which kind of data is this by typing type, if you remember from our basic Python, and close everything under bracket and run, and you can see it is str, to mean it's a string, but we want it to be a date so that maybe later on we can do some kind of time series data analytics. Okay, so to do that, it's very simple. When you are importing this data, you should add another argument here. That argument is a Python function or pandas function called parse dates. So it's gonna detect the dates and convert them into the format you want, but you have to specify the column where the dates column is. So in this case it's independence, and remember the column name goes here as a string. So add that one and then run it, and you should get a warning. Basically this warning is not life-threatening, so don't be worried. It's just that my Jupyter is updating, is out of date, so you might expect that also on your end. So now I can run again, and then when I run this time round, it should give me date. So you can see it time stamped, so it means it's reading each of these columns at date. And then you can see in Ethiopia, where the date of independence is missing, it has returned not time. So NAT basically means not time. So that is how you make sure that some values, or you basically detect missing value. You convert the timestamps into, or dates that values that should be dates into dates, so that you can work with them for better analysis. So that is very, very important. If you like this video, once again, feel free to like the video, subscribe so that you get notified when new videos are uploaded, and share with friends. Tell them to learn data science, because this is where the next future is, and of course where the money is. Okay, see you.